shows. Niggas never had no more than 5 grand in his shows. PUA, I hit the plug and I was right back. You niggas spent your money at Dior. I ain't like that. PUA, I can't hit no lick and chase.
Yo, we around. This is PSA, Philly Service Announcement. Omni Assist. This is my right-hand sister, Nick Raw Cannon.
Raw Cannon, y'all. Love
TakeOver Tuesday. Tuesday Takeover. Listen, man, we going to do what we always do. We got this brother, Image, the voice, performing. Let them know what it is.
Welcome.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on, man? Thanks for having me, man.
So
PSA.
what is the song you about to get up here and give them the energy? You got to get up here and give them the energy.
Get right
Tell
up
everybody.
here.
Tell everybody who he is.
song.
Well,
bro.
I go by Image. I go by Image, the voice, man. That's with the D-A-V-O-I-C-E. You know, I go by Image. I talk about social issues that happen, you know, in the city and what's going on, and you know, I talk about love making, and you know, I give a PSA to the folks that's listening to the real music, man, because some guys don't know how to articulate the music to the women, or you know, so I just try to verbalize it and bridge that gap with my music, man.
Well,
you know.
Well, give them a little
So
energy, man. Tell them what
this song
is.
this song we're gonna perform is called "Walk in the Light," man, and basically it's just standing tall, going through it, through all the adversities that you see throughout your life, man. Just stand tall, fight hard, you know, and walk through the light. You know what I'm saying? It's actually going to be presented in a play that I'm producing, you know, upcoming this year called "Yo, Put the Guns Down," with formulated with my man Oronde McLean with the Oronde McLean Foundation, and we just trying to attack the violence prevention initiative. You know, put some guns down, man, and you know, stop the violence, man. It's crazy here in the city.
So,
Okay.
he going
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How y'all doing, man? It's your boy Image, the voice. Hey, we here at PSA, man. It's an announcement. Let's go. Hey, y'all already know who it is.
This boy got a hit.
I'm gonna talk to y'all.
I got a call, lost my dog just the other day. Bad thing about it, couple months ago he had a baby. Good dude that got caught up in the trenches. Did I mention he was building up his pension? Yeah. He had a sister who had a baby by the opposition. He on a run with a gun and no pot to piss in. Last word that I heard from the curb that he burned a kingpin for a bird. One thing that I know, that what goes around comes around. What goes up must come down. For every jewel disregarded, there's a treasure found. Let's go. Stand tall. Don't lose sight. When you fall, don't give up the fight. Through the fall, just walk in the light. Walk in the light. Walk in the light. Stand tall. Don't lose sight. When you fall, don't give up the fight. Through the fall, just walk in the light. Walk in the light. Walk in the light. Second verse. I'm glad to see another day. At the funeral, I can see him in his daughter's face. Life can take a toll, never let a minute go to waste. The fear of our son, tell me why do all the good die young? I seen a shooter at the vigil. Tell me how many think it's just a random nigga? How many of you can decide it's not his people? They say the close ones to you will do you, yeah. But one thing I know, that what goes around comes around, what goes up must come down, yeah. For every jewel disregarded, there's a treasure found. Let's go. Hey, stand tall, don't lose sight. When you fall, don't give up the fight. Through the fall, just walk in the light. Walk in the light. Walk in the light. Stand tall, don't lose sight. When you fall, don't give up the fight. Through the fog, just walk in the light. Come on, y'all. Walk in the light. Walk in the light. Hey, stand tall. Don't lose sight. When you fall, don't give up the fight. Through the fog, just walk in the light. Walk with me, y'all. Walk for a better purpose, man. Walk for your life. Walk for your loved ones. Yup, man. Let's get it.
Yeah.
I like that. We needed that.
Yes,
On
stand
PSA,
tall.
we needed a little bit of R&B energy. We needed a little bit of inspirational, and I like
Yes.
all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I like it. I listen to it. I listen to all the bang bang shoot 'em up.
I
We
love it
out
all.
here.
I
We
love
getting
it
it.
all.
But we need more versatility, man. We need a lot. We need to get all the messages out.
All of them.
Get all the messages out. Don't keep it skewed to one side. Don't allow them to skew it to one side. Get all the messages out. So I'm gonna get with this brother a little bit later. So he gonna slide back a little bit.
Yeah.
And he got his brother in here. He announced who he was, what he doing a little bit. But I want him to do it. So let him know who you are, what you got going on, brother.
How you doing, everybody? Thank you for having me. My name is Jarue McClain.
Turn your mic on.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
How you
There you
doing?
go.
So my name is Jarue McClain. Back in 2000, I got shot in the back of the head. It don't look like it, but I did. I died for 3 minutes and 17 seconds. I was in a coma for 7 months. No, I'm sorry, 7 weeks. I had to learn how to walk, talk all over again. I used to be right-handed, now I'm left-handed. I was in a wheelchair for 2 years, and I tried to commit suicide 22 times because I thought my life was over. I mean, I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't play football. I couldn't play basketball. Somebody had to feed me. I'm 10 years old. I'm used to running around, playing hide and seek. I couldn't do that no more. I mean, the doctor said, listen, you can't live a normal life. It was over for me. 12 years later, I'm like, listen, they can't define who I am. So I turned 21, got my bachelor's degree in criminal behavior. They said I couldn't do it, but I did it.
That's right.
I mean, now I have 3 jobs. I work for the government. And I started my own foundation, the Jarue McClain Foundation, because I figure people are victims, but nobody is surviving out here. You need
Right.
to be a survivor.
Right.
So my foundation turned victims into survivors. So we have a mentorship program, and I have about 4 children. I teach them how to survive and put the guns down. So we have a play coming, Put the Guns Down. It's going to feature November 5th into the 6th. That's about it.
Yo, man, and you said that's about it. Like
That's
you just,
a
like you
lie.
just,
Wait a minute.
like you just
That's
told us
about
some
it?
basic stuff. Like, well, that's about it.
You
That's-
said you was
that's-
10?
Yeah, I was 10 years old. I mean, it's crazy because that's why I got PTSD. Every time I look at a door, I get a little nervous because I ran to the door when I heard the gunshots, and the Chinese people shut the door on me. So if you see me keep looking at doors, I'll be like, how am I going to get out?
Right,
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it's PTSD, and people don't like
Yeah.
to realize that.
Yeah.
They don't like to announce what they have and what they go through. But I'll keep it real, yeah. It's crazy. I got PTSD, but you know what I mean. But I lived through it.
Right.
So I like telling everybody what to do and how to live through it.
When-
Because go ahead.
My bad. When did you decide that it was something that you needed to tell other people? You know what I mean? Like, when did you decide that? Like,
I
when
see
at that
these-
time?
When I see these, like looking at the news, the violence is crazy.
Right.
And I feel like I don't like hearing other people getting shot. It's like crazy. In 2000, when I got shot, nobody was getting shot. It was scarce. Now kids is shooting kids. You know what I mean? So I feel like me being a survivor, not a victim, I can touch somebody and say, listen, you don't have to do that.
Right. I mean, it sound like you done went to the next stage of it though. Like you done went from,
Absolutely.
being a victim to a survivor, and now you living. You saying you got 3 jobs.
Yes.
They told you certain things you would never be able to do. You standing in front of me, letting me know that was a lie. You know what I'm saying? So you living right now. So
that's-
what is that like? What do that feel like? Like these people said, yo, I wasn't gonna be able to do nothing. Now I'm to the point where this is where you at. You on PSA. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean,
Right.
it's still a shock to me because I still got to go to the doctors.
Mm.
And they still like, oh, something's going to happen or you going to have a seizure. Like, doctors always doubting you.
Right.
But I'm here today and tell them that, no, I got my own destination. I can do what I want.
Right.
I mean, so that's why I like to tell
Can you
these
say that
kids.
again? Like people need to know, like you can create your
Yes.
own
Yes,
shit.
your own
You know what I'm
path.
saying?
Yes,
your
you
own
can.
path. When you
Yep.
said, man, I got my own destination. That's living.
When I was in a wheelchair, they said, you're not going to walk. I made myself walk.
That's right.
I mean,
That's
I
right.
got out the wheelchair. Like, I'm not doing that. Then I'm like, listen, girls ain't gonna want nobody in a wheelchair. You know what I mean, and
Women are a hell of a motivation.
Yeah,
aren't
it
they?
is.
Man.
And music. And
Aren't
music.
they?
Yeah.
Listen.
Oh, my
music.
stars.
And they told me like, listen, he ain't gonna have no kids. I had my first baby when I was 18. I said, listen, that ain't my baby. The doctor said I can't have no kids.
I've been told that before. I've been told that
Yeah,
before. I've been
now I
told
have
that.
5.
Yeah.
You got 5?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you
you like
definitely
me.
living.
I've been told that
definitely-
before too.
Yeah, so, you know,
I've
Oh,
been
you
told
definitely
that.
living. You definitely living. You got
Yes.
5?
Yes.
Oh man,
Listen.
that's amazing,
Yeah,
man.
so
I
That's,
can
It's a-
appreciate that. I can appreciate you being here and standing here and saying that. For you to be at a point in your, I don't want to say recovery, I want to say like your journey. You know what I mean? For you to be at a point in your journey where you have accepted what you have and is able to share it with the world and is not scared to share it with the world, that helps other people
does.
know how to deal with you. And when more people are out there sharing what they have going on, it shows the world, listen, you have to approach me and deal with me a different kind of way. And a lot of people don't know that. You can't deal with people and communicate with people all in general. You got to specialize, you got to idealize, and when you being here and saying what you've been through, announcing that you have PTSD, announcing what your triggers are, that's important for everybody in this room with you right now. So we can it's not like a pity thing or nothing
It's
like
not.
that,
It's not.
but it's
keeping it
it's
real.
a mental awareness
Yes.
that helps people better communicate with each other. And when you have that level of mental awareness, it speaks volumes. So I can appreciate that. Listen, thank you.
so he definitely told me that you gonna have to step out in a minute, but I want to know from you, and I'll hear from him later. How did y'all connect? Like, how did y'all get
How
together?
about that?
When I was like 5 years old, that's the boy that used to beat me up on the block. Young boy, stop doing that. So he been with me from before I'm getting shot and after I'm getting shot. With my first haircut, I have all these scars. I like shit. It's like I need to get an afro. He like, young boy, like, show these scars, man. You got this.
That's that
Like,
love,
you a
support, and
testimony.
grace.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's that
He
love,
did
support, and
it.
grace right there.
And I used to be
Yes,
like,
it
all right,
is.
cool. Let me listen to this music I'm doing.
Not only
Yeah.
that, right? But black men, we need that. We got to
Yes.
normalize that. You know what I mean? Brothers lifting up brothers. You know what I mean? And that helped him in an integral part of his life. It's sending chills through my body.
Right now,
Because
yes.
we're not a people known for doing that. I'm talking about amongst the men. So we need to normalize that. We need to hear more stories like yours.
Yeah, because I wasn't expecting that.
at all.
When I was expecting like, yo, I'm out here doing, you know,
Right.
stuff for the community. He out
Right.
here doing stuff for the community,
Right.
and we link like that. I didn't expect to hear because he didn't tell me that. When me and him talked, he was like, yeah, I know him from around the way, this, that, and the third. But he didn't tell me that. He didn't tell me, yo, I knew him since he was 5.
Yeah, that's
I was cutting his hair after everything happened. Like, he ain't tell me that. So that's crazy, man. And he probably might have wouldn't have said it later on because we'd have been talking about other stuff. We'd have missed that. Yo, just like the brother said, man, like, that's major for
That's
us
powerful.
as men to
Yes.
know, like, yo, we can
the
love on each
culture.
other too.
Yep.
Because that's what that was.
That is okay.
We can love on
Yes,
each other
it
too.
is.
You know what I'm saying? As men, we can have love for each other in that way. You know what I'm saying? Young men, older men, the whole nine. So yo, that was dope. Like I appreciate that. Now you know, boy already all right, man. But that kind of allowed me to know he a little he might just be a thorough bull. He might just. Nah, that
Oh,
was
that's
dope,
what's
dog.
up.
For real.
I appreciate that.
So
Thank you.
I don't wanna. What do you just said you work for the government?
Yeah.
What are you?
I'm a psych nurse.
Okay, bet.
Let's
Because I
no-
thought it was like some classified situation
I'm
that you
not
just said the
saying-
Let's
government.
normalize
Yeah.
more black male nurses.
Exactly.
That,
Yeah, that
that,
too.
that right there.
That too.
That right
Yes.
there.
That's major.
Nurses.
That's major.
Teachers.
Yes.
Social workers. You know, all of these things out here that help, that are people who are in a helping position. We need black men out here in a
It's
helping position.
and I'm gonna say this too when Tyrone Melvin was on. It's that same thing whereas you have a rape crisis center and he like, yo, women, and we were all talking about women are not the only people being rape or going through, sexual abuse or whatever, and we need men to help other men. We need men to help the young ladies after they come in, and it's like to help normalize you being a helping hand instead of being the attacker.
Right.
Instead of her being she's able to see, and I don't know where that would take, a young lady who's been through that. I don't know what that would do, what the triggers would be and all that. I'm not even gonna act like I'm so informed about that, but he allowed us to know, like, yo, we need men for the men and for the women.
Yes.
For the young men and the young women. You know what I mean? So that's
Yes.
another thing. Again, like the brother just said, like my right-hand sister just said, a lot of these things that we have assigned to being feminine jobs, we need men to be in these positions, man, because they need that different look. We need that. We need that different
Our
look
children
in order to
need
help
it.
us. Exactly. So, was it anything you got? Any platforms that you on? Anything where people can come deal with you tangibly, like when they can come and be like, "Yo, man, I seen your story."
I'm just a real man. They can just call me. I'm not with
Well, you
all
got
that.
5 kids. I don't know if you can give out your number and
yeah,
all
I
that.
can.
You know what I mean?
I
But
can.
what platforms are you on? Like,
I'm on Facebook, Arande McLean.
mhm.
Can you spell that so the people can find you?
ORONDE. Last name McLean, MCCLAIN. Facebook, the Arande McLean Foundation, and Instagram, the McLean Foundation.
all right. So, why did you think it was important to bring him up here with you? You could have came up by yourself, and we're gonna get into it a little bit more later, like I said. But I do want to know that before you.
No, because it attacks, the understanding what the topic is. You know what I mean? The announcement, the resource. This is a resource show. So knowing that he was one of the few to make it and to give that information on how he made it is a resource.
Yes, it is.
It's far and few. So, and
Yes,
like
it
I
is.
said, I do my music to bridge the gap, me being an advocate for, child abuse and mental health awareness. That's the main reason why I continue to attack it and never just give up on these dreams. And I try to just attach myself to the guys who I know suffer in the same way a little bit. You know what I mean? So therefore, we try to find our own ways to heal ourselves the same way too.
Right.
And that's by the community engagements.
Yes.
That's just being real.
Yes.
So, again, this is PSA, Philly Service Announcement, TakeOver Tuesday. We got this brother right here, sitting to my left, who already done jumped in, you know what I'm saying? Letting
only
us know.
right.
So,
Don't listen.
It's a family environment.
we
Yes,
want to
it
know,
is.
who are you, where they can find you, social media platforms, the whole nine. Give them that whole rundown, and then we can dive right in.
Absolutely, man. Thank y'all for inviting us, having us on the show.
No,
You
this
know what I mean?
y'all show, man.
Thanks to the brother, man, for sharing your story.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I mean? You
Yes.
touch me. You know what I mean? And I always say nobody usually touches the toucher. You know what I mean? Nobody motivates the motivator. So my name is Brother DeWine Williams. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the NOMO PA FAC program. NOMO Foundation is at 925 North Broad Street in North Philadelphia at Broad and Girard. We run a youth organization of 125 youth in Philadelphia. And we also, they range from children of incarcerated parents, to just, children in the community looking for a way out. We teach financial literacy skills. Each kid get a bank account. Each kid receive a $200 a month stipend for the participation in our show. We take them on trips. We have financial literacy classes. Shout out to Crystal Evans on that for Money Talks EDU. It's a black woman in the city of Philadelphia going around using her platform teaching, black and brown people about bank accounts, credit scores, and all the things that we didn't know
Absolutely.
in 1995 when we was running around here, doing what we was doing. We teach our children in the NOMO program, a series of, teachings and trainings. And we also help them with, getting their learner's permit, their driver's license. I could sit here and name things all night.
Well, name them then, brother. Name them. Let them know.
We're almost fathers. We're mothers and fathers, extended mothers and fathers to the city of Philadelphia, to children in this entire region. This past weekend, we just came back. We took 100, I don't know how many, I lose count, man, kids to Wildwood.
Right.
Now y'all remember how y'all felt going to Wildwood back in the day?
You couldn't sleep. You
Come
couldn't
on,
sleep
man.
when you knew you was going to the
Come on,
amusement
man.
park in the morning. You couldn't
Yeah.
sleep.
Come on, do y'all remember
You was up all night. Like
exactly the bus rides back in the day?
Yes.
You know what I mean? When you be up helping auntie and them open the sodas and put the ice in the trash can. You know what I mean? You doing everything right that day because you don't want to be the one. All right, you ain't going to Darney Park tomorrow. You know what I
Putting
mean?
the fried chicken in the aluminum foil.
Right, you wrapping
Making
it
the
up.
sandwiches.
Making the bread on the chicken leg and all that, right? So, and I told my partner Rick yesterday, right? Because after that we was so beat for the weekend. But I told my partner Rick yesterday, right? Shout out to Ricky Rolex, Mr. Nomo, 7th Street, South Philly. Love that boy. That's like a blood brother of mine from another mother. But I just told him on Monday, right? I said, man, Wildwood did something for my mental health and my therapy. Because
You
we all
need
suffering
it.
too. We're traumatized
Yes.
too. Now, we might not be the ones out there shooting or getting shot, but seeing it, hearing it, and living amongst it, you become it.
And then not only working with people who've
Yes.
been a part of that and their
Yes.
story, that's their story, it's that vicarious trauma that you
Absolutely.
experience
Absolutely.
from working with them.
Absolutely.
And we have to do self-care. When
You
you're in a
have
helping
to.
position, you have to take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself,
You get lost.
you can't do the work that you want to do.
You're no good to nobody.
No good to nobody.
And let me say this, that we also have to understand that as a people, not only with work, that also carries over in our relationships as well. You know, that's why almost every day I make sure my wife get her time, you know, and she does the same. You know, she returns the same energy. And that also helps me be a better community activist. You know what I mean? Because it's nothing other than the love of a black woman. No discrimination,
Say it
no none
again.
of that.
Say
to
it
nobody.
again.
But there's no
Say
love.
it.
Are we gonna
There's
we
no
gonna clap to
love.
that? We definitely gonna clap
We
to
need,
that.
There's
we
no
need to
love.
have some, like, you know,
We
some
need
little
our own
music and
applause,
stuff, like or drink champs. So
'Cause
they be
that's
like,
one of them.
"Woo!"
That's
Yeah.
one of
Right.
them Jones,
That's right.
man. Go.
That's right, man. None of us would be here today in this room, okay, without the love of a black woman. You know what I mean? And our sisters don't get enough credit. And I'm just calling it for what it is.
Nah, you
We
right.
gotta normalize loving our black women, giving them credit and uplifting them.
That right there.
You know, and vice versa. You know, so so another part of the work that we do. Back to the No Mo Foundation. We also
I don't want to cut you off because I don't want the brother to leave before I ask this question. Now, you said about, you know, going through trauma, dealing with the kids that been, you know, through violent situations and all that. Is it a place for y'all brothers to link? Do you
Absolutely.
think, after hearing his story, do you think it's a place for y'all brothers to link?
Absolutely. So real quick, right? And I know you got to go, bro. Another part of the work that we do, we work with young men and women that's been impacted by the justice system. They're on state parole and probation and coming home from the federal system and stuff like that through the Mural Arts Restorative Justice Guild program. And that's a program Ricky and I help run for 18 to 24-year-olds, you know, that's on probation and parole and stuff like that, coming home from the system, affected by the system and stuff like that. And both programs would benefit from both of y'all presence and y'all story. Because it's not all about what my story is,
Right.
what your story is. You know what I mean? About, you know, I've been to jail and this, that, and the third and blah, blah, blah. Sometimes, you know, our youth and next generation need to know that trauma comes from all different angles. And
Yes, it
you're going to
does.
face some things because your story isn't prison. Your story is probably 55 times more devious and worse than anything this brother and I and anybody else ever been through, right? So how can we link? Yes, I need that right there. These young men who have not been impacted by the justice system that's in the NOMO program, they need to hear that, right? Then the men and women who have been impacted, right, that might be going through something. Because sometimes, right, us as black people, I'm going to speak for me. Sometimes
We all black. Speak for all of us. Go
okay,
ahead.
well, sometimes us as black people, right, we think we the only ones going through something. We think we the only ones feeling lonely. We think we the only ones walking around trying to keep a smile on and, you know, I'm so happy when we not. You know what I mean? So we have to normalize, you know, educating, you know, and giving the proper information to the next generation. Now, through both programs, I was involved with the No More PA FAC program, right? PA FAC stands for Fathers and Children Together. That's a program that was started by the lifers at SCI Greaterford Prison. That's now known as SCI Phoenix. That's one of the largest super maximum security facilities on the East Coast, right? Me and this brother, we was in the same facility. We was on the same plantation at one time, coming and going. We was just, you know, talking about that earlier, right? So the lifers at Greaterford Prison, right? Shout out to Derek Dickey Starks, you know, from the original Black Brothers Incorporated, right? Brother Minister Sharyuddin, he helped me get involved with the FACT program. And just to make a long story short, those men had got tired of going to the visiting room, right? After having 30, 40, and 50 years in prison, and they were seeing younger guys. I used to be young, right? They were seeing young guys like us in our 20s at the time out on the visiting room with a child, and then a beautiful young lady coming to see us, a young one at the time. That's our kid's mom at the time. So we're more in tune with the visit, right? And then the child is left running around the visiting room, getting in the drama. But look, 7 years later, 8 years later, that same child is seen walking through the hallway with an orange jumpsuit on. Right? So the old heads at Greaterford said, no, since the law ain't gonna do nothing, the DOC, they created their own program to help incarcerated men and women build a relationship with their children so that when they come home, you have more Brother DeWines and Ricky Rolex Duncans. All right. So the mural arts program was a program that was already in Greaterford. They was doing the paintings and the murals all over the city. So Sam Magic, right? And Dr. Reed's son, Shadid, Lloyd, Tommy, and all of them brothers, right? Ghani and all them brothers. They stepped to Jane Golden and Robin Busman and was like,
running around on the streets right now.
Yeah, shout out to
beautiful,
Ghani.
Yo, I don't
Beautiful
mean to cut
brother.
you off, man.
Beautiful
but
brother.
This is a dope, real live brother who stood up and made sure that he wasn't going to let Greaterford or no other confinement make him less than who he is as a man.
Shout out to Kempis Songster.
And anybody because matter of fact, me and him are on the pardon board together, the pardon committee together for Pulse. And it was so crazy for me to walk in the room and he's sitting in there. I'm like, well, dang, how you get in the position that quick? But then people were saying the same thing about me, and I'm like, this is what it is. This is what it is. To see that brother did 35, almost 40 years, if I'm not mistaken, and now still looking young as ever. You know what I mean? Because that's another part of getting information, man. You learn you got to take care of yourself. You can't let these people beat you down. You can't let them have you in here sick, hurt. You going back and forth to medical. You can't do that. You can't do that. You got to have something to show to these other young brothers. And that's a brother that made sure when I came through, I didn't know him. We was linked by information. And he seen that I had a little information as a young brother. He quickly was like, listen, you on this? Yeah, I'm on this. You on this? Yeah, I'm on this. It was one of those type of things. The same thing with another brother named Sikambuzo that he home now after doing 35 years. He out Oklahoma with his daughter and everything, living with his family. He was another brother like Ghani, man, that was like, my purpose is to make sure you don't let this ruin you. You already got here. You here. Right. But you ain't got to die in here. And I ain't talking about dying here physically. I'm talking about mentally, emotionally, your spirit. Like, don't let these people do that to you. Because that's what they want. It's between your ears now. It's not a physical thing. When they came into the jail, it was all bangers. Now they trying to drive you crazy. Me and the brother was talking about that. But Ghani, that sparked that when you said that to me, because now me and this brother on the pardon committee trying to help other people get their rights back, get commutations for other brothers, man. So, yo, shout out to Ghani, man.
That's
Shout out
what's
to Ghani, man.
Shout out to Ghani, man. Ghani.
And Sikambuzo. That's like a dad to me, for real, for real. Forget the elder John. He like a pop to me.
That's what's
Ghani is one of the founding members of the FACT program, the United Community Action Network, the Greaterford branch. And Ghani is one of the guys who mentored me when I was on B Block, you know what I mean, at Greaterford. And he was fortunate enough to obtain his freedom, man. He was one of the juvenile lifers, who was granted another chance, man, after 30 years in prison, So those guys were tired of going to the visiting room and seeing that cycle, so they intervened. And now you have men coming home with resources. The children of incarcerated parents are 7 times more likely to become incarcerated themselves.
Yes.
So a lot of what we're seeing, brothers and sisters, in Philadelphia, is children of incarcerated parents, right? Who are 7 times more likely to become incarcerated themselves. And no knock on the sisters, because the sisters still got to go to work. They got to go to school. They got to feed families. And it's not that they're intentionally neglecting well, not all of them, but it's not that they're intentionally neglecting the kids. But in Philadelphia, you have to earn $86,000 per year to just be okay. Right? So if
I'm not okay then.
There you go.
I'm not
So
okay.
think about it. Stay with me. If if you remove the father, if you remove the man with all of this stuff that they got in place with, the things that drive gun violence. Talking about the gun violence is one thing, but the things that are put in place, because remember, Ghani was released, just using him as an example, because it was scientifically proven that the human brain is not fully developed until the age of 25 years old, right? Now, when they did that study on middle-aged white men, all right? Now, we come from a whole different level of trauma, deep-rooted trauma, right? Which means for us, that might be, a little bit later.
35.
35. I'm going to keep it a bean with you. I did myself. I did 10 years, 6 days, 12 hours, 37 minutes, and 13 seconds straight. From the age of turning 22 years old that night in the police station till 6 days after my 32nd birthday. All right? And it wasn't until I came home and was home a couple years before I really, 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 really got it. And I'm saying that, all the way around the board. I'm not saying I was walking around here like a kid, but it takes us men. I'm speaking for us that I know, the men who I talk to, the brothers, that's trying to become better, right? And we have to talk about this because this is how you bring awareness to it. And this is how you inspire and spark something in somebody else for them to make a change.
Right.
Right? So what I want people to understand is a lot of the times when we go away to prison and we're 18, 19, 20, 21, when you come back home, you're really still that same age.
Yeah.
Because your life stopped. Right? And I'm kind of all over the place right now, but your life has stopped. So you come home and you're still operating as an 18-year-old kid. You know what I mean? Like, you might got it figured out. You might not be as impulsive as you used to, but there's a lot of things in place that comes along with being a husband, being somebody's significant other. You know what I mean? Being a friend, being a homie. Yeah. You're not even getting none of these phone numbers if you're not the true definition of a friend. Right. So then when I came home from prison, right, I was connected with, with both programs. Ricky was still incarcerated at the time. I was able to come out here, make some connections through Robin Buseman. She hired me as a coordinator working with the young men in the YVRP program when the city had that back in 2014. She gave me an opportunity. I've been there ever since. I'm never late. I never miss a day. And I'm real big on accountability because if I'm going to hold you two guys accountable for whatever reason, I have to be accountable.
You have to be.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So if we're going to teach the kids, those 125 kids in the program about being on time and getting up and respecting your mom and cleaning up your room and turning off the video game and all that stuff on time, I got to practice that. You understand what I'm saying? So shout out to Nomo PA Fact. Again, we're on Instagram, Nomo, Nomo _ PA Fact. All right? And then we on Facebook, PA Fact Program. And we're also on Facebook, New Options, More Opportunities. And for anybody that's trying to, link with me on a side tip, my personal page is Mr. Pac-Man 1982. I'm Brother Dewan. My personal Facebook page is Dewan, Dawan, spacebar, my middle name, my street name, Packy, like the game Pac-Man, Packy, and my last name is Williams. I'm here to help. I'm here for the community. I'm a no-nonsense. I don't have zero time for bull crap at all. You can't get my number if you're just trying to bust it up, if you want to hang out and do nothing.
Yeah.
All right? This generation, I'm here to be an example. I did 10 years, and let me just speak on this too.
Good.
Let me just set the record straight on something. Because like I told you earlier, we got to start being realer than real. I went to prison for something that I did, I didn't deserve all that kind of time, and we know they played a part in giving the time back and did some crooked stuff, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, right, we're not glorifying men coming home from jail, women coming home from jail. Oh, welcome home, so-and-so, welcome home. We're glorifying changing the culture and changing the conversation. We're not telling these young brothers in Philadelphia about how many cheese curls we had and, I had a package and I was getting cell phones in. No, I was miserable every single day in jail.
Every day.
Period. I don't want to eat those TV dinners no more. They wasn't even TV dinners.
I tell people for like a good 10 years, maybe 13 years, I really had to wake up in the morning and get myself together first. Like, I woke up every morning on some, like, angry. Why is this? What's going on? Am I going to make it today? Like, every day I had to do a sanity check, feel like. every morning. And I feel like you probably should do that out here. Be critical of yourself. Look in the mirror, see where you going for the day, what you could have did better. But nah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I'm ready to snap every morning. I got to lay in the bed and be like, yo,
Trauma.
take a couple deep breaths, dog. Get yourself together, man. Let your celly just go ahead and do whatever he gonna do first. Just lay here and collect yourself. That's not a way to live, man.
not.
That's not a
It's
way
not.
to live.
So imagine, right? Now, thank you to this brother for being open and honest enough to share that with the world. But
Right.
imagine how many other millions of people walking around the streets of Philadelphia right now with that bottled up, right now, who have not yet acknowledged that yet, who have not yet seek trauma or therapy counseling and stuff like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, like I said earlier, a lot of that is going on from the penitentiary. I'm here to be an example. I'm here to be of that 1 or however many percent of the brothers who came home. All right, this October 6, 2021 is 7 years home straight. And where we all in this room from, that's not common. We usually come home from jail, right, bro?
No doubt.
We usually come right back home
back.
from jail and
No
be
doubt.
back like we left something. You know, we usually violate. And let me tell you all this. When I first got to Graterford in 2012, right, I really got to see them last 2 years in prison from 2012 to 2014 before I was granted my parole. I really, really, really got to see the extent of the revolving door. Seeing all of them people come back and forth. And then when I started to see people who I knew wasn't coming back to jail, come back to jail, I said, yo, I got to tighten up. I got to get involved or that's going to be me. So every day I get up out my bed and I make each day count. I move forward with intention. I sit and I think, how can I make my wife happy today? How can I put a smile on her face?
That's right.
Not make her look like a fool. Not use her like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when I came home, I noticed that things had changed, man.
Yeah.
I said, whoa, my day, you had to take your girlfriend to the movies. You had to have a car. You had to have something. Nowadays, I can let me leave that
Now,
part alone.
listen,
but
all right,
all
so-
that's for trauma.
Cause that though, like
Trauma.
everybody else,
Trauma.
that come on this show, the show is about y'all. The
That's right.
show is about y'all coming on this show and letting people know who y'all are with the resources. And I ain't even had to ask no question because you went into everything I needed to know. Where you at? Why you do what you do? What's your research? You did it all. And I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate it. But like always, we need everybody to come back on because it's never done. So this is PSA, Philly Service Announcement, TakeOver Tuesday, every Tuesday, 5 to 6, Glockaware Radio. My right-hand sister about to give y'all, what she give y'all
I'm going to give y'all the love, the support. I'm going to give you the love, support, and
all
the
day.
grace.
I appreciate it. I appreciate social
Every
activism.
not just every Tuesday, 5 to 6.
Yeah, because we family. I
Every
might
day.
fall through the crib, fall asleep on the couch because
Yeah.
I can't live
You
that
know, we
down.
might
Now,
have to
everywhere I
blow
go,
his
I'm
phone
sleep.
up, sometimes,
man.
all crazy, Yeah,
He be hitting,
Brother Rose,
he be hitting the
what's up?
side button on you.
No.
you
I
bet
just
not.
Listen, in
Bet
his
not.
I
defense,
be
he got
moving and
1,001 things
I be
going
moving and
on, and I
shaking.
understand
I
it.
be
But he
moving and shaking.
said he needs people to hold him accountable.
No doubt.
So that's what we doing.
That's
When we
right.
blowing
No
his
doubt.
phone up, we holding them accountable.
That's
doubt.
right.
That's all. So
be hitting
it's
that-
all love.
Don't be hitting that
support,
side button
and
on
grace.
your right hand
I just-
sister.
Exactly.
I
No,
just
it's
learned
all
about the
love.
side button actually,
It's all,
too.
look. See, don't
Somebody
don't
put me
don't
on.
use
I didn't
it.
even know it was on
Don't
my
use
phone.
It. Don't use it. Don't use it. But yeah. So we definitely thank you, Brother Rue. We definitely gonna get into the Say Her Name segment of the show that we do every Tuesday, 5 to 6. The Say Her Name segment was derived from a conversation that we had about intersectionality, about black women being, dying at the hands of police, and the discrimination on two levels. We're minority women, and that they're black, and they're dying at the hands of police, and it's not publicized, and it's not on social media, not to take anything away from the black man and the struggle that the black man is going through, dying at the hands of police. But guess what? The women are too. The black women are too. So one particular story I want to share today, Say Her Name, is Charmel Edwards. So Charmel Edwards she was 49 years old at the time, and she had two teenage daughters. She was living in Vegas, and she went out on a date with her current boyfriend at the time. And they came back to the house and fell asleep or whatever. And she woke up and she went out and took the car. So he woke up and called her phone, and she didn't have it or she didn't answer or something like that. And then he called the police and said his car was stolen. So she out having a good time. Basically, it sounds from what I take from the story, she was out bar hopping, going to different places, having a good time, having some drinks and stuff like that. So when the police stumbled upon the vehicle, they say that they tried and attempted to get her to get out of the vehicle for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Oh, one major point that I'm leaving out, one important fact, is that the gentleman's car, he had a handgun in the car. And he told the police that his vehicle had a gun in it. So upon them coming up on the vehicle, they attempted to get her out of the car for 30 minutes. They were not able to get her out of the car for 30 minutes. And there's multiple stories. Some people say she got out of the car, put her hands up in the air. Some people say she got out of the car, had the gun in her hand. In any event, the police fired on her, shooting and killing her. So, I mean, it's a lot of issues that come to my mind speaking about this case. But the one thing that really bothers me is what was happening during those 30 minutes? What kind of interventions or what kind of skills did they use in order to get this young lady out the car? Because let's be honest, if she out, one, she's probably intoxicated. She was out going to bars, having a good time. She's probably intoxicated. So I don't have a lot of history on this story. I just read a couple articles. But one of the issues that was raised was that what kind of intervention did the police utilize to try to get her out of the car for 30 minutes? 30 minutes is a long time.
Yeah, like as soon as you said that, I was thinking like, where are all the specially trained people? If and y'all knew that the situation could be heightened for two reasons. Wherever you was going to find her at this time, it's you would almost think that she probably was out and about or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then the other thing is y'all know that it's a gun in the car. Mm-hmm. So the question that I got about the whole it's a gun or we saw a gun, does a gun, knowing beforehand, does that heighten the situation for the police? Or does that tell them we have to be more strategic so we need to bring it down? Like, that's the question when situations like this, when they be like, oh, we got information that it was a gun, and again, justification things, I'm not saying it's justified, but if you saying, well, she had a gun, and they knew she had a gun, so that's why they went at her like that. And I'm saying, well, if y'all know she got a gun and he telling y'all it's my gun, y'all know y'all approaching the situation with a gun, why are we not bringing people to the scene that can probably talk her down? Whatever the situation, because you know she's not out doing anything violent. Yeah, she's not doing anything violent, but y'all know it's a gun on the premises. She's in the car. Y'all get there, and like you said, y'all got to talk to her for 30 minutes. We couldn't figure nothing else out in 30 minutes.
30 minutes. And then when she got out the car, they say she pointed a gun at him. That's the
where was
discrepancy.
The gun? Do they have where was the gun found?
No,
After
I don't have
when they
that
shot her?
information. I don't.
Because
I'm
Did y'all
sure
see
it
the video?
exists somewhere.
Y'all
no,
see the
I
video?
didn't see the video.
So it's
it a
no
video?
30-minute video?
I didn't see the video.
That's enough.
Is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a 30-minute video.
I feel like
that
if it was a
exists.
video,
It was
that would be
it was
prominent
3:30 in the
any article
morning.
written about it.
Yeah.
You know what
But
I'm
don't they
saying?
got like body cams now everywhere?
Well, this was back in 2012, so I don't know.
No.
But it was 3:30 in the morning.
Wow.
So I'm sure if it was, a different time of day, maybe it would have been more people, more witnesses or something like that.
Okay.
But they do say a witness said that she got out and put her hands on her head. And they said she got out and pointed a gun at him.
Where did they recover the weapon?
Exactly.
That's what I don't have.
And again, just like if it was a camera, that would have been prominent. And if y'all knew where the gun was at, that would be prominent. You understand what I'm saying? If the gun was found outside the car, you know what I mean, somewhere in her vicinity, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Because why we gotta always shoot to kill, but that's a whole nother conversation too. But my thing is, if the gun, because anybody writing this article, we all know this, it's going to be written geared towards the police.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? To try to exonify the police in the news as much as possible, except for certain articles you may read from, like, I wanted to say The Guardian, but I'm not sure. I haven't read The Guardian in a while. It's just a name that popped in my head. But if you're talking about the Philadelphia Sun-Times, they're not going to write the article from the stand, but the Associated Press will write the article and trying to exonerate the police.
Exactly.
So we would know where the gun was found if she actually had a gun. That would be in the article.
Had the gun. And not only that, okay, there's a gun. We can legally carry firearms.
Well, wait a minute now. In this situation, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like somebody, her boyfriend or her husband, he called and said, "My car is stolen." He didn't know. Wait a minute.
He called and said his car was stolen.
I have my legally registered firearm in the car. So at this point, I don't know who's in my car. Now, I'm not saying that gives the police the right to kill anybody, but at this point, this is a stolen car. I know that there's a gun in there. And we just need to know the details as far as what we don't know. We don't have, the tape or the visual.
Exactly.
Did he ever? Because I definitely have to go look at this article.
Yeah, and we can definitely. I wanted to spark this
Mm-hmm.
conversation because I didn't have a lot of information based on the articles that I read.
Right.
Because I feel like
you say, when you say we are allowed to bear arms, which is correct, but in this situation, they received information that the owner of the vehicle's gun was also in the car and stolen. So they're approaching, and I'm only giving them the benefit of the doubt. They're going through this situation where somebody stole this car, and it's a gun in here, and they approaching it as if, look, they got this gun, and they're going to shoot it out with us.
Well, and that's and see, I appreciate you saying that, right? But that is one of the issues that we have because it's been seen on TV that white men, not only just a woman, a white man has bared arms, pointed them at officers.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't get shot.
Absolutely.
No shots.
And
get tasered or whatever. So with that respect, it's understandable, but their job is to serve and protect.
So let me bring something to y'all attention real quick. Do you remember a video from 5 years ago? This is July.
Yeah.
I was going to see my brother in federal prison, and the Waze app was brand new back then, and it took me an exit past my exit, and I landed in Williamsport, PA, and the Williamsport PD pulled me over, and I had license, registration, and insurance, and he still wanted to search my car, and I told him no and all that stuff, and the video went stupid viral, right? The bottom line is this. They will never know the trauma with driving while black.
No.
I don't care if you a cop. I don't care who you are. The trauma that I get, I'm going to speak for me. When I see a cop car, when I see a cop, the anxiety, you know what I mean? Security guards and all that kind of stuff is sad because think of what cops originally were. Cops were slave catchers. Cops were the ones protecting their property. Cops were, if you got caught out at night without a traveling pass, do your history, young people. Right? If you don't have a traveling pass, then those slave catchers will brutalize you and take you back to massa.
Yes.
So now that practice has been baked in the DNA of law enforcement here in this country. Let's just call it for what it is. I'm not going to say each and every single law enforcement official because we all got family and friends that we grew up with that's a cop.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I love them to death. And I got people that I'm not related to that's corrections officers, that's cops, firefighters, and I love them to death. You know, because that's my new squad. I'm not in the street no more.
Right.
So my team consists of, successful, people with careers and stuff like that. So I say that to say it's a case-by-case situation. You know what I mean? The history of law enforcement in this country towards people who look like me and you, my sister, their track record is horrible.
It is.
All right, so for a sister to get pulled over and held up for 30 minutes straight. A woman.
Can you imagine the anxiety?
First of all, I'm looking at it now as y'all use that as a free pass to kill a black person. You got the call that the gun was in the car. You got the call that, hey, 2 for 1, a stolen car, right? You got the call that I don't know this person. I don't know who's in this car. So in your mind, in the mind of the DNA of the slave masters' great, 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 great grandsons and children, right? In their minds, this is a freebie, and I'll get away with it, and I won't do a day in jail.
And they did. And they did. They found it justified.
It's crazy because I just had this conversation with my young folks a couple of days ago about when the penitentiaries were created. Like there were no penitentiaries before, we were emancipated, if you want to call it that. And then the same thing with the slave catchers becoming the police officers, and all of these different laws being created. Vagrancy and not having a job was a standard. Loitering was a crime. All of these things became crimes
to fill up the prisons.
Because the prisons was the convict leasing system. It was another way to make people back into slaves. And then, as we know about the 13th Amendment,
when you say back into slaves, we never became enslaved. Wait a minute, because remember the amendment says and or prison. The detail in that is how they play mind games in America. And so the children that we touch on a daily basis, my own children, and your children, we're giving them the real, to pay attention to the detail. Don't let them fast talk. The government will, they will fast talk you.
Yes, they
go
will.
ahead, my brother.
No, you good. I listen. He been on. Are you trying to get a host job?
Hey,
nah,
man.
I don't want you on here.
Hey,
I don't want you on here.
Hey, man.
Nah, I've really been appreciating, how
listen,
you've been
information.
explaining. I don't have to ask any questions. That's a beautiful thing. You just been going. You get into the history. I love that. I love it.
No, he love that.
Listen, one of the good things that happened while you and I were away was this thing called technology and social media and Google. Back in our day, right? For some of us older folks in the room.
Really had to read the book.
Back in our
Gotta
day,
read.
remember, going on them bus rides and trips, you had to have a map. You had to have a piece of paper with the directions written down. Turn on Fox Street and make a left here and turn it right. But now you got GPS, take you there, tell you where the cops at, tell you slow
everything.
down,
Tell you where the traffic at, tell you the speed limit.
tell you around.
Let me ask you a serious question about that though. When I my elder that I shouted out earlier, you know what I'm saying? He was like, he remembered when the calculator first came into to existence, right? And he was like, he had teachers that made him aware that this is not that great of an invention. And the reason why it's not that great of an invention because you shutting off that part of your brain.
Right.
And that's the same thing with being able to find where you're going sometimes. Having to read what directions that the streets say and all. That's a part of having strategy too.
Absolutely.
That's
Let
a
me
part
say
of
this.
reason and logic as well. So do you think that it's so much reliance on that a part of our children's and people who are raised like that are losing something because of that?
2,000%, my brother. I was speaking in an aspect of, for the sake of when us, the elders now, when we're giving up game, when we're giving up history and knowledge, the kids can go right to that computer that young lady is on right there and say, let me see what this dude up there talking about.
What he talking about,
Oh,
right?
wow. I didn't know that Dr. King was assassinated or, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I didn't know that the First Amendment actually said that we still slaves if you in prison, that you a slave. You have to look at the law. We don't know that. So look, even when I was pulled over by the police, right? And I want y'all to look at that video when y'all get some time. A lot of people who were in the comments was like, yo, stop talking, right? But the thing is this. When you know the law, I sat in prison. I'm home because of the law. Right. I'm like not a guy who was like just went. No, I had to like fight back and give back and study. And so now I know the law. And to be honest, some of us, we waited man, I've been waiting to be right.
Yo,
to have everything in order.
Listen,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yo, that's crazy because I've been pulled over a lot.
And everything right.
And this the thing about it. Most of those times for me, now I know for my people, a lot of times it's not justified. Me, I was driving like it was still 98.
Right.
I was doing stuff that you just can't do no
Can't
more.
do that no more.
And I
That's
got
wrong.
pulled over. But
Right.
the thing, like you said, it's a certain comfortability in one, knowing the law, because I know the law. I fought my case for 15 years. I fought my case for 15 years, so I do I have an understanding of the law. I do know how to deal with those great grandsons of the slave masters who have these ideas baked into their heads.
Yep.
I know how to deal with them, and I know all of my stuff is legit.
Right.
Insurance,
Period.
Everything is legit.
And
so when they pull me over, it's the anxiety that we do get, and it's a real thing. I just don't have it. I don't have it because of a lot of different things.
I got you.
But it's a real thing. I'm not saying it to say that it's not a real thing for our folks.
Let me speak to this aspect though. When I'm speaking anxiety, I'm only speaking of the anxiety of he gonna kill me for nothing. All right. Brianna was in her apartment, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, she was.
Trayvon was walking to the store for some
And
Skittles.
he wasn't killed by a cop.
You understand? Wait a minute.
You know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
I think the brothers who were killed that was driving in car, they had driver's license, insurance, registration, all that. But they gotta find something because it has become a part of our culture that, not us, but the average black man that's 35 years old in Philadelphia don't have three things. He don't have a bank account, a debit card, and a driver's license. Now, not all of us, but a high majority of us. So me and you fall under that umbrella. So
Or
even
passport.
or passport. So even if he dipping in and out of lanes like it's 98, he can't even get a pass because he thinking, bing, got one.
No doubt.
So now when he pulled me over, he pulled you over. It's like bing, 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 got everything, but hold up. But no, I know the law now. You can't just ask me questions just because. That's a form of trauma and abuse.
Yeah, it's
No,
abuse
you
of power.
No,
And it's-
that's not the law. So now when we sit and we look at the law and the pot the same way we do in jail, we know that grievance policy like the back of our. Let them not have a slice of bread on the tray. Right or wrong? Let them have one piece of cereal missing out of the thing,
Yo.
and we'll go there on it.
This a thing because in a minute I'm gonna want you to give a whole recap who you are so they can find you and all that because
We
the
gonna
time
come
is
to a
running
close,
down.
yeah.
But this is a funny thing about making sure that the young brothers and sisters have a connection to information. When I was locked up, I remember a 25-year. I was probably like 36 at the time. Yeah, I was like 36 at the time. I'm in the hole. Young boy coming there. He actually told me, he was like, yo, they doing XYZ, talking about the guards. And he was like, but I ain't filling out no grievance because that's telling. I said, yo, hold up. Hold up.
What?
Me and him had a conversation for like 4 hours because he couldn't go nowhere. We in the hole. We in the cell.
Yeah, them
And
the
you just-
deepest.
Yeah,
them
you
the
just
deepest conversations right
I was
there.
chilling the whole time. Laying
What?
there, young boy, you do your thing, I do mine.
What?
But when he said the grievance is telling, I said, hold up, we got to get a history lesson right here. Because that's crazy. That was crazy to me. And I don't want to go into the whole thing of what a grievance is and all that.
Right.
But no, you got to know the rules of engagement.
You have to.
You got to know the rules of
They don't even know
engagement.
the
And the young
rules.
boy was telling me, like, filling out a grievance is telling. I was like, yo, my head almost blew off. Like, yo, no, you got to have some type of way to defend yourself in this joint.
Yes.
You know what I
in
mean?
life,
You gotta have some
period,
type of way to do it.
In life, period, you have to learn how to defend
But-
and stand up for yourself. Even in employment, if you work somewhere,
Yes.
do.
You need to
if
know
you
what the
get into
policies
something
are.
with somebody and you get fired,
know
you
what
ain't
the
gonna go
policies
tell
are.
because that's snitching. Like it's
No.
you have to stand up
No.
and fight for yourself. I
Listen.
tell my
Yo,
kids
it's
all
too,
the
I
time.
don't mean to cut you off.
No,
sis.
you not.
It's-
See, we not
it's
gonna
too
do
many-
that.
It's too many
Listen,
bulls in
we
here. You
we
gotta
got.
get out of here,
Listen,
man.
we're not gonna
get
do
out
that
of here.
again. I tell my kids all the time. The most powerful thing you have in this world is your words.
Yes.
Use them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do not let people just do whatever they want to do to you. Say whatever they want to say. I don't care if it's your teacher at school. Now be respectful, but I don't care if it's your teacher at school because I was having a conversation with my husband today. My professor at school right now, she gave me a wrong grade and I got upset. I told her I was
She made a mistake.
oh, she made a very big mistake.
Okay. How did you handle it, sister? Let's
I
hear
got an
about it.
A. I went from a C to an A.
No, but how did you go about
I
it?
went
though?
from a C to
Oh,
an
I wanna
A.
hear this
listen,
one,
listen, and
I want to hear
I'm
this
big-
one. Now, I mean, how she go about that?
I'm really big on using my words, and I'm really big on putting it in writing.
But what words did you
What
use?
did
sister?
I said, I appreciate your comments, but if you can recall, We emailed back on dates and times, X, Y, and Z.
Have receipts.
And you had approved X, Y, and Z. So I'm under the impression that this is approved. Please check the email. But I commented on her comments on my assignment. I didn't email her.
Right.
Where you make the comment, I'm going to make the reply.
Oh.
So that it's that one chain that shows everything.
Right.
And she got back in the comments. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I apologize.
So you diplomatically, respectfully,
Diplomatically,
checked her as a
respectfully
black woman, and
checked
that's the right
her.
way to do it.
And guess what? I went from a C to an A.
And that was the right. And I just learned something
And
today.
and
Can we
listen,
give a
that's
round
you
of
got
applause to the
listen.
son? Come on, y'all.
Listen,
Clap
you
it up,
gotta
clap it up.
stand up
Come
for
on, y'all.
yourself.
Don't hate. Don't hate. Yeah,
grievance
You
no,
gotta
not
stand up for
telling.
yourself. The
Seriously.
grievance is not telling. The grievance is
not
standing up
telling,
for your
yeah.
right.
And
Right.
you know what's important right here? The young ladies in the NOMO program that are 12 to 18 years old, and then the young ladies that are in our restorative justice program that's 18 to 24 years old, they need to hear that. Here's why. Me as a young black man coming up in these inner cities, I've only seen black men and women handle that situation that you just shared with us differently.
Yeah.
And we all know how.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just about today years old where I'm hearing that a sister, you understand what I'm saying, handled this thing professionally, diplomatically, didn't have to curse nobody out, bob a head, pull up there with the
Listen.
whole 26th Street and all that.
No,
right?
listen.
But I knew it would have went
I knew
there.
my sister
It would've
because I
went
was
there.
like this.
Yeah, I know she was type. I knew
The
that.
hand was a bobbing, the hands was a going, and I was like,
Absolutely.
she ain't going.
but-
My husband saw it. I was
Yeah.
like, no, man.
Absolutely. But if they see
What?
and they hear how you went about that,
Yes.
that might just spark something in them. That might just change somebody's
Yes. Got the
way of
result.
thinking early. Because
Yes.
look, we up there now.
Yes.
Not too many
we
people
are.
came to us at 12 years old
Nope.
and said, "Wait a minute, this is conflict resolution. This
This
is
is how
a
you
credit
do it."
score. This is how you do your bank account. This is how you talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you're supposed to love a black woman. This is how you're supposed to take care of your husband." Nobody really taught us that, man.
Yo,
No, they
he
didn't,
gotta
and
come
this
back
is how-
on.
Listen,
This is PSA.
I was just ready to say that.
You gonna pull the plug on us?
I got it.
Listen.
When the John do the 2-camera thing, I was gonna shout my man Mukid out. We might get that on there. It's another real brother, man. You know, been through the same things, man. I got major love for this boy.
Thank y'all for
The
having me.
love,
Ain't no wrong
support,
for
and
you to
grace is real. Thank you very
talking,
much
no
for
talking.
coming on. We need to have you back again.
I'll be back.
Because
Send a
listen,
date.
I'll
Send
be
a date.
glad to speak to some young sisters
Yeah,
out
y'all,
here.
we gotta come out, man.
For
We gotta
real.
make this a global movement.
Yes,
You know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Absolutely.
PSA. man.
Love,
Thanks for
support, and
having me.
grace, y'all. Glockaware Radio. We out, y'all.
That was nice.